Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Sunday, April 8th. We got 10 games today on the main slate, really big slate for this Sunday. We're going to talk about pitchers today, pitchers we want to target, some pitchers that I like, and of course I'll give 3 of my favorite hitters on this slate, 3 guys that I like that I think you should be targeting in some of your lineups. But before we do get started, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. And if you are new, this is your first time checking out my channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, guys, starting off at pitcher today, really loaded position, kind of from top to bottom. Got a lot of good options up top. Charlie Morton gets to face the Padres. Mike Clevenger gets to face the Royals. Jake Arrieta, making his debut with the Phillies, is in a great matchup against the Marlins. JAMESON also in a good matchup as well against the Reds, and it just keeps going on. You got even cheap options if you look a little bit cheaper. Guys like Jordan Montgomery at $7K against the Orioles, I definitely like for tournaments today. So you got expensive pitchers to target, you got mid-range pitchers, even some value as well. So there are a lot of ways that you can go at this position, but kind of the 2 pitchers I'm looking to build around today. First off, definitely Jake Arrieta here, 9,700 against the Marlins. I just love this matchup, and I love the narrative, kind of the Arrieta going to be making his debut with the Phillies. It's going to be a home game, so you know the crowd's going to be cheering for Arrieta, rooting him on. I think he pitches really well here. The matchup, like I said, is just too good to pass up. This Marlins team, their lineup is just terrible. You look up and down this lineup, these guys are just not good hitters. Maybe like Dietrich, Bohr, Maben, Castro, kind of good bats, but there are definitely strikeouts up and down this lineup. Just these guys aren't hitters I'm really worried about. The Marlins have a low implied run total, just 3.2 runs. The Phillies are minus 180 favorites. Very likely Arrieta is able to get a win here. And I think he's just a really good option today at 9,700. We know Arrieta, when he is on, this dude has a lot of upside. Could definitely rack up some strikeouts in this matchup. So he's kind of the pitcher I want to go to today. Charlie Morton is a guy that I do like against the Padres. I love that matchup, but at 11,500, I think I'd rather pay for like 2 9K guys than maybe play Morton and like Jordan Montgomery. I think that is an option you could go to. I like Arrieta and another 9K pitcher we'll talk about, but if you didn't want to play Arrieta and the other guy, maybe you could go to Morton and Jordan Montgomery for kind of the same salary if you were to do that. But I do prefer Jake Arrieta and JAMESON kind of over Morton and Montgomery. I just really like Taillon here as well. Another guy that I think has a lot of upside, especially in this matchup against the Reds. This is definitely a good matchup, a spot where JAMESON can rack up some strikeouts. The Reds, again, they have a low implied run total at 3.5 runs. They've got strikeouts up and down this lineup, especially towards the bottom, with guys like Mesoraco, Jose Peraza, the pitcher, and even Billy Hamilton down there at bottom is kind of a guy that will strike out. We obviously know Taillon. It was kind of like a risky play last year, but I think this is a year where we really see Taillon be a lot more consistent. We're going to consistently see him put up solid outings, be able to rack up plenty of strikeouts. It's a great matchup. He's in a pitcher's park. It's in the National League, so he'll be able to face the opposing pitcher. Taillon just has a lot going for him today, and I think he's a really good play. If you're looking to pay up at pitcher, you can go with Arrieta and Taillon and still get in some decent bats. That still leaves you $38.50 remaining per player. You've got 2 really safe pitchers, 2 pitchers that have a lot of upside and still some decent salary to where you can fit in a couple expensive bats if you want to do that. But then if we want to look at some of the other pitchers, obviously Charlie Morton I do like here at 11,500. I think I would prefer him over Mike Clevenger. They're only $600 difference, and I would rather have Morton there. So Morton, if you can pay up for him, I like him on this slate, but finding the value pitcher to really pair with him is kind of hard here. I think the value pitcher that I like today, like I mentioned, is Jordan Montgomery at 7K. This is a spot where I just feel like Jordan Montgomery has a lot of upside. It is kind of a dangerous matchup with the Orioles. They're a team that's kind of like up and down. You never really know. They could come out and just hit a lot of home runs, or they could just strike out a ton. There are home runs up and down this lineup, but there are definitely strikeouts up and down this lineup as well. And for what it's worth, the Orioles do have a pretty low implied run total at 3.9 runs. The Yankees are heavy favorites here. Montgomery's a heavy favorite at minus 200. So I do like him if you want to play him in Charlie Morton for sort of similar salary to Arrieta and Taillon. I don't mind that at all. But those are really the pitchers I like for today, mainly Arrieta, Taillon, Morton, and Montgomery. Clevenger, I kind of like here against the Royals, but I think I'd rather play Morton. Jose Quintana against the Brewers, I think I'll shy away from there. Chase Anderson's cheap, but against the Cubs, kind of another guy I'm really going to shy away from. Eduardo Rodriguez could be a good tournament play here against the Rays because that's a good matchup. A lot of strikeouts in that Rays lineup. But I think I'd just rather get up to some of the 9K guys that I have here or just go down to Jordan Montgomery. So like at Rodriguez's price tag, I think I'd just rather go cheaper or just try and get up a little bit. So that's really it for pitcher. Now if we look for 3 bats that I like today, starting off at third base, there's a cheap option here I like. Kyle Seager, 3,300 against Lance Lynn. Really like Seager here. Love this matchup. Lance Lynn, always been a guy that's struggled to lefties. He's been a guy that's always given up home runs to lefties. And there are definitely lefties in this Mariners lineup that have power. Seager being one of them. Robinson Cano at 4.5K. I think you could also play here. Even if you wanted to play the righties like Haniger, Segura, even D. Gordon leading off. These guys are cheap. And we saw Lance Lynn just kind of absolutely get blown up in his debut with the Twins. Wouldn't surprise me all here if he gave up another big outing to some of these Mariners guys. So I like Seager today. 3,300. Think he's a really good option. Home run on Saturday. Definitely could see him home run again today. And he's a guy that I like for value if you're going cheap at third base. And then 2 outfielders I like. A guy that I've been on a ton. I keep saying him every day, seems like. But Josh Reddick just seems too cheap. He always gets these good matchups. Love this matchup here with Tyson Ross. Ross has been a guy that we know, not a very good pitcher. Really struggles to hold runners on. Tyson Ross is definitely a guy you can steal on. So these Astros bats, they have a lot of speed. That makes them very good upside plays here. Bregman, Altuve, Correa, Reddick, Gonzalez. Just love this lineup top to bottom. If you can fit these guys in, I think you definitely want to do it here. Maybe if you kind of avoid some of the top pitchers and go for value, then you could stack the Astros today. They could put up the highest amount of runs on the slate and nobody would be surprised. Tyson Ross just not a good pitcher. There's dangerous bats up and down this Astros lineup. And Josh Reddick at 4.2K is a guy that I like from that team. Trying to get exposure to the Astros as much as I can today with Reddick's price. Kind of allows you to do that and still pay up for pitcher. So I like him at outfield in the 4K range. And then another guy I like in the outfield at the 4K range is Brett Gardner. He's actually 4K on the dot. Like this matchup here with Mike Wright getting the righty-lefty split. Gardner's always been a guy that we know hits righties well. This is a great ballpark for lefties like Gardner. We know Yankee Stadium is a great hitter's park for lefties. Gives up a lot of home runs to lefties, that ballpark does. And the Yankees are another team that has a high run total today. A team that you can definitely stack up from top to bottom. Just a lot of upside up and down this lineup. They're obviously expensive bats, but guys like Gardner, maybe Neil Walker. Towards the bottom, you've got cheap plays. If you don't play like Judge, Stanton, Gregorius, those are obviously the guys that kind of have the most upside. But you can find some value in this lineup with Gardner at 4K and the guys from the bottom of the lineup really, really cheap. And again, the Yankees are a team that just, you know, is going to put up runs today against Mike Wright. So I like Brett Gardner here. Like his price tag. Been hitting the ball well with 13 and 18 DraftKings points last 2 games. He's only 4K. And I think it's a great matchup for him. I think he's a little bit too cheap. So yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for today. Jake Arrieta, JAMESON, TAILLON, Kyle Seager, Josh Reddick, and Brett Gardner. Now if we look at teams that stack today and look at some of the implied run totals on this slate, obviously, like I said, the Astros and the Yankees have 2 of the highest implied run totals, over 5 runs. They're going to be a team you definitely want to stack up today. And then if we kind of look for like cheap stacks, maybe teams that have somewhat low run totals, but could still be teams that put up runs. Like I said earlier with Kyle Seager, I do like the Mariners here. I like some of the lefties. They have a low implied run total, just 4.3 runs, so not a lot of people are going to be on them. And I think they do have upside against Lance Lynn. I don't think Lance Lynn is that great of a pitcher. You could definitely take some of these lefties against him. So the Mariners are kind of a team I'm looking to go to if I'm looking for cheap bats. Obviously, I want the Astros today. I want the Yankees. But if I can't afford them, definitely like some of these Mariners guys, just given their price tags. And I think they have a lot of upside here. But that's really it for stacks today and run totals. Now if we look at BVP, look at some of the top BVP plays for today. Some of the BVP plays that have the most sample size. Some of these Reds bats have hit JAMESON, TAILLON pretty well. But that's not really going to keep me off of him. Adam Duvall's gone 6 for 19 with 2 home runs. Scooter Gennett's gone 8 for 20, batting a 400 average. I believe there's another one here. Yeah, Jose Peraza 8 for 11 against TAILLON. Billy Hamilton 7 for 17. But like I said, I still like TAILLON here. I'm not really worried about that PVB. There aren't really a ton of BVP plays that just really stick out to me that have massive sample size besides like Posey versus Kershaw, but that's not really a game that's on the main slate. So that's kind of it for BVP. You've obviously got some like middle tier sample size here, like 7 for 4, or Ben Zobrist 7 for 14 against Chase Anderson. Some of these Indians have hit Jason Hamill well, especially Encarnacion. He's 9 for 32, just a 281 average, but of those 9 hits, 5 of them are home runs, so you could play Edwin Encarnacion here because he has homered 5 times off Jason Hamill. That's pretty interesting. But I think that's it for the BVP for today, guys. Now if we look at PVB, pitchers that have done well in their matchup, just looking at guys on the main slate, Jordan Montgomery's done well against the Orioles in the past. Jose Quintana has done well against the Brewers in the past. And then if we look at pitchers that have done poorly, like I said, some of these Reds bats have hit JAMESON TAILLON pretty well, but I still like TAILLON here. I think he's going to be a much improved pitcher. I think we're going to see him pitch really well this season, and he's definitely going to be a guy that I'm on all year. Then the other one, Jason Hamill, has really struggled against the Indians. You could definitely play some of these Indians here because a couple of them do have good BVP against Hamill. Encarnacion, Lindor, Kipnis, all have solid BVP against him. But that's really it for BVP. That's really it for this slate, guys. Hopefully this video helped you. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did enjoy, just make sure you click that like button down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe as well. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_go, or just feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Good luck today on this slate. Peace.